Hi, welcome to Shootin the Sport, where I sit down with your favorite coaches, athletes, and people in the industry to just shoot I'm your host, Matison Little, and today's guest is a former Division I college softball player, a content creator, a mother, and the kicker is she did it all at the same time. We talk about her story, what it's like to be a young mom, NIL, and so much more. Jas Williams, welcome to Shootin the Sport. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. So first of all, I want to congratulate you on everything. You have a beautiful family. You had an amazing softball career. Obviously, your content creator career is still on the rise. So congrats on everything up to this point.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been quite the journey, but I've loved every second of it.
Flashback to 2019. You're a D1 softball player at Oregon. At the time, it's one of the top programs in the country. You go viral for dancing with one of your teammates on Instagram because TikTok wasn't quite a thing yet.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it on Twitter, and you just went everywhere. So, it kind of seems like at that time you're doing really good in your sport. You're blowing up on social media, kind of every girl's dream at that point, I feel.
Yeah, no, it was definitely crazy. Not something that we were intending to do. I feel like the videos kind of just people loved them, and it was kind of weird for us because we were just doing it out of fun. And I didn't want to post them because I was kind of embarrassed, but not embarrassed. And I wasn't really into the social media game like that yet, so I was kind of still navigating that. And so when it blew up from Haley posting it on Twitter, and then she posted everything on TikTok, when that became a thing, it was just people were demanding more videos and stuff. So we were oh, this is something that we could do that's fun. And at the time, Oregon, we were kind of in a rebuilding year, so we weren't doing very good. So it kind of helped us keep spirits up and having fun. Even if we weren't always winning on the field, we were still having fun and doing fun things off the field, which I feel just made the vibe so much better.
Right, and you said that social media kind of wasn't something you were into. Growing up, were you someone that shied away from the spotlight, or were you always kind of someone that, enjoyed putting yourself out there?
No, I've always loved the spotlight. It was just more of I didn't want to post it and then have it flop kind of thing. Be embarrassed and people be why is she posting this? But then I got over that, and now obviously it's been years, but
right.
People are always going to judge what you do or what you don't do. So it's just kind of a learning thing. And I was still really young at the time. I was 18. So it was just a learn. And she was older than me, so she didn't care.
Right.
So it was just oh, okay, I guess this can be fun and I can take advantage of this too. So.
Yeah, I feel sometimes, especially as, females, we tend to restrict ourselves based on maybe what other people would think. What would you tell that version of yourself now?
To not care at all. If I knew how that would have gone, in the beginning, I would have just posted it myself. Or I would have just done it way before, because I used to make up dances or do dances all the time. And because I've just always been obsessed with choreography and the Step Up movies, Bring It On, stuff like that. It was just up my alley. So I would just come to the field and make up dances and then teach my teammates, just because that's just what I would do in my free time. And so, but I never post it or anything because it was just something fun.
Right.
So, but I would just tell her who cares? Have fun. You're gonna not regret posting the videos. So, yeah.
And then kind of after all of that, 2020, obviously COVID hits, TikTok bursts onto the scene, and your platform kind of just continues to grow. What do you remember about that time?
It was such a crazy time. I knew at first when we were being like sent home, they were saying originally like, oh, just pack enough clothes for 2 weeks because you guys are going to come right back. Like, it's just a minor thing. And so at first we weren't really taking it serious. So I went home back to California. Ended up never coming back to Oregon for like after I had my son. So that was insane. And during COVID is when I like connected with my now husband. And so basically if COVID never happened, I wouldn't have like met him because he was playing D1 football at the time and then like came out to California. It was just crazy how everything went down. So COVID in my world, I loved COVID because that gave me like everything that I wanted. But obviously at the same time, it was really hard to navigate what was really like going on in the world. And then I ended up being pregnant, and being pregnant during COVID was not fun. So it was really hard to kind of understand like how bad the situation actually was. And something like that never happened before, like in college athletics, where now everyone gets like a free year and like your season is canceled. And they thought originally like the seniors weren't gonna get to like have like their redemption year. So it was really tough. But I mean, at the end of the day, COVID for me was good.
So take a couple steps back. During that time, you get the DM from who is now your husband, Z. I'm sure when you have a platform like that, you get multiple DMs from multiple people. What stood out about him? Why did you decide to answer him?
Yeah, so he had, during like 2019, when me and Haley were like going viral, he had DM'd me on Twitter. And nobody like DM'd me on Twitter. It was like all Instagram. And so for whatever reason, I was looking at my like Twitter DMs and I saw him. And at first I didn't think we were like the same age. And I thought he was kind of younger than me. So I like responded like jokingly, because the first thing he said to me was, how many retweets for you to be my wife? And like that was just the first line. And I was like, oh, 10K, like haha, like. And then he like posted it and then posted it on Instagram, and like people were actually like retweeting it and stuff. And so that's how like I found him on Instagram. And then after that, we like didn't talk until 2020. So it was like a whole year went by, and then he kind of reached out again, and then we would DM here and there. And then COVID took like full swing, and that's when we started like FaceTiming every day. And then he came out to California to visit family, which like conveniently was close to where I lived. So we spent like almost every day together. And then a few weeks later, I flew out to Florida to visit him with his family, and I was there for about 2 weeks. And then when I got home from that trip, I found out I was pregnant.
What was kind of your initial reaction? I know obviously it's an exciting thing, and it should be looked at as an exciting thing, but you had your softball career, you were young. What kind of went through your mind when you initially found out?
I honestly had a feeling that I was pregnant, and I found out right away. So like basically as soon as like the test could show that it's positive, like I knew. And I just had a feeling. But like we knew what we were doing, and it wasn't like an accident. Like we're not like dumb, but yeah, no, I mean, obviously it was kind of scary and kind of like a reality check of like, okay, we're gonna have this baby, because I'm very like, I think babies are a blessing. So obviously I wasn't gonna like get rid of my baby or like think of it as like a regret or something that was a mistake. So I already knew what page I was on, and he was very supportive and like, yep, this is what we're gonna do. Like, I'm gonna marry you. Like, we're a family. Like, I'm gonna, do all these things. And so, I mean, it's kind of scary because you're young, but both of our parents were very young when they had us. And I mean, we turned out pretty okay. So I think it was just a reality check and then just a learning experience. And you kind of just parent as you go and you learn new things and see what works, what doesn't. And parenting is really fun. Being a parent is really, really fun, really rewarding. And we love it. So I think it was our greatest blessing was our son. So
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. And so just continuing down the timeline after that, it comes closer to 2021, baby Z is born, or in 2021, baby Z is born. And you decided to step away from softball for a little bit. And you moved to be closer to husband Z.
Yes.
What were kind of those early days like of you guys kind of trying to navigate living together, having a kid, just all the newness that came with it?
Yeah, so we didn't start living together until after our son was born. So I had him in April, and then after my 6-week checkup, I moved with a 6-week-old baby to Michigan because that's where he was playing football, and he decided to step away from football in order to provide for us. He got us our own apartment, started a really great new job. He just made all the sacrifices. And so when we got there, I wasn't planning on going back, not because I didn't really think that I couldn't, but more just because my body's different now. I already had a kid. We're in Michigan. How are we going to do this? And the whole time he was like, no, you're going to go back and play. You're not done. If one of us is going back, it's going to be you. You can do it. I'm fine with it. And I was kind of questioning it the whole time. And then he would just constantly reassure me. And so at one point I was just like, okay, I guess this is what we're going to do. So then in September or October, we moved across the country again to Oregon and started that journey. And I was about 6 months postpartum. But the early days were kind of, a struggle. It was weird being at home all day with a newborn and my husband was at work. So it kind of was lonely in the beginning just because you're learning how to be a parent. And I just wanted my husband with me all day, because it was also our first time living together, more than 2 weeks at a time. So it was I just wanted him there. So it was hard, but I mean, we got through it and we were only in Michigan for a few months. So
at what point in all of this did you guys get married?
We got married September 1st of 2021. So
it's just in between all the craziness, we just got married.
Yeah, so basically right before we moved to Oregon, we got married. And it was just very intimate. It was at a courthouse. It was just a few people there as witnesses, but we never had a wedding or anything. It just wasn't something that played out for us, I guess. And we didn't really make it something that we really, really wanted. We just wanted to be husband and wife. So that at the end of the day was most important for us.
It's awesome that in today's day and age you found a man that is so supportive of you and put you first. And it's great to see, and I'm super happy for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, no, he's one in a million. I mean, I don't know any other men his age, especially at that time, that would make all the sacrifices and do everything that he did. Especially giving up his career so that I could finish mine was just, looking back, it's just wow, he really did that for me and my family, and has always been the provider. We've always been on our own. None of our family has ever really helped us or anything. It's just always been him doing everything. So yeah.
So you said he let you have that opportunity to play softball again. You went back to Oregon, ended up transferring to UCF, go Knights, of course. What was it about UCF and Coach Sydney Ball Malone that brought you to Orlando?
Yeah, so I actually played for Coach Bear on the Team USA Junior Olympic team. So that's kind of how I had my connection with her. And to be quite honest, I didn't know much about UCF and like their journey and much about the program when I was at Oregon. But once I put my name into the portal, the only way that I was going to play again is if a school in Florida reached out to me, because my husband and I, we were planning on moving to Florida anyways. And so he was like, if it works out, it does, like, then it'll be a sign. And so she had literally DM'd me like at like 6 a.m. in the morning, because like the time zone difference,
Right.
And was like, I want you to take a visit. Yada yada. So I think like maybe like a week or two later, we were just like on the plane out to UCF, and that was the only visit I took, because like I loved it so much, and like Orlando really reminded me of where I grew up back home in Orange County, California, and so we loved it. And then obviously she's just amazing and great, and she has 3 kids of her own. Our sons Z and Kason, they're around the same age, so like they hit it off right away. Like they're besties, go to the same school, like stuff like that. So it just she just embraced us so much, and everyone had great things to say about her when I talked with like the girls. And so it really just felt right. And I mean, we loved it. Like I loved my years here. I was only planning on, again, playing 1 season here, but I loved it so much that I wanted to come back again and, finish out my whole eligibility, just to not have any regrets and see what could have been, or, and it's always fun having your husband and your son there to support you. So yeah, it was cool. It was definitely what I needed. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was, for people that don't know, I'm a sideline reporter. I went to UCF, covered some of your games. So I loved seeing baby Z and Kason running around, in and out, like they owned the place. It was so cute.
Yes.
And just the way that Coach Bear interacted with not her kids, but your kids too, or your kid at the time.
Yeah.
And just seeing it definitely, UCF is a special place, and people that aren't, haven't been there, don't really see it. Obviously, I'm a little biased, as are you, but it's a great place.
Yeah.
And it's just, that was special to see. What did it mean to have your husband and your kid at every game?
Oh, it was the best. Like, just seeing them in the stands or in the outfield, because a lot of the times they would be in the outfield so that my son could run around with Coach Bear's kids. And my husband and Coach Bear's husband are also really, like, great friends. They hit it off right away. Like, they go golfing still sometimes. Like, it's just, we're really just, like, a family. Like, it's really, like, our extended family out here. But no, yeah, it was always great. I would always turn around and like wave to my husband if I saw him, or like just little things like that. And then it's just nice because he really doesn't know much about softball. So it's like he learned over the years, but I always know that like, since he's my husband, he's going to support me if I have a good game or a bad game. It's not like a parent where like, oh,
Right.
I'm mad at you because you struck out. Like, as soon as the game was over, it was like, all right, next, like, what do you want for dinner? So it was nice not to have to like dread on like what happened during the game. And then I went straight into like wife, mom mode, which, sometimes was like hard for me, because sometimes I would like be mad over the game or like how I did, but then like I adjusted to like, it's literally just a game, and like I'm doing this for fun, and I'm getting like my degrees, and we're just, and so I really didn't take it as seriously, like mentally, as I once did when I was younger, because at the end of the day, it's like I'm still winning off the field. So
your priorities are so different. It's not like
yes,
you have those typical stereotypical car rides home with dad when it's like super quiet and you don't say a word because you struck out twice or whatever.
right. Yes.
Now you're transitioning away from softball for the first time in your life, I assume. What has it been like going from D1 athlete to what we are, NARPs, not athletic people? What
Yes.
has that been like?
Yeah, no, it definitely, I've played softball for 19 years. So when that ended, it was kind of weird at first, but also really nice, to be honest, because I mean, there were 3 years where my son was getting bigger, older, and I was like missing out on things when I was like traveling. Even like me and my husband being apart is like hard. So it's really nice that like this is literally the first time since we lived in Michigan that like I've been full-time mommy and wife, and I love it. I think it's really nice that like I get to pick up my kid from school every day or take him to school, and we get to do fun things as a family, not have to worry about my like weight schedule or practice schedule or like if an assignment's due. I think that also it's become an easier transition just because I have a son and a husband. I think if I didn't have that, it would have probably hit me a little bit harder. But I think since I did finish my eligibility, I finished school, like I don't have any regrets. And so I think I left the game with a great peace of mind, that otherwise it would have probably been way harder for me.
Now you're expecting baby number 2. Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
know that's so exciting. How excited are you guys? How excited is baby Z? He's going to have a little sister.
Yes, little sister, she's due in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
So she's coming up quick. We are so excited. We're just like so thankful that we get the opportunity to have like a boy and a girl, and baby Z cannot wait for her to come. Like he's been practicing with stuffed animals. We actually just built her little bassinet last night, and so he was learning how to rock it and sing, like, and so he's ready. He knows that baby is on the way, and he says he has 1 month until she gets here. So he's been counting down, and we've really been making it a point to like have him super involved, and that like he's gonna be the big brother, she's gonna look up to you, like you're gonna help, stuff like that, so that he doesn't see her as competition, but like that's his baby too. So he cannot wait, we cannot wait, counting down the days. I feel like this part in pregnancy goes by the slowest because you're so close. So I'm ready too. I'm ready for her to get here.
So aside from baby number 2, what's next for you? Are you going to continue to be involved with softball? I assume you're going to continue your content creator lifestyle. Like what's next?
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm still doing like content creation, stuff like that. And so I've been taking it really seriously lately, which is good, but I've been, growing, so I still want to take advantage of the platform that I have and, expose softball in a positive way. And so staying a part of that community, I think, is important, even if I'm not playing, still showing like my journey and, exposing UCF as like a great program that like I found. So, just keeping them on the map. And I feel like I'm going to transition more probably over the years into like family lifestyle content, stuff like that. So obviously right now softball's still like my main thing, but I see myself becoming more of like a family lifestyle creator. And then just seeing where it takes us. I mean, I'm still working with brands, doing like NIL stuff, which is really nice. And then as of right now, we're kind of looking to buy a house. We want to buy our first house and, just raising 2 little ones and focus on the kids. I mean, focus on our marriage, focus on the kids. That's the biggest thing at the end of the day. And yeah, that's kind of all I'm really focusing on right now.
I love it. So that brings up a topic I want to ask you about. I'm curious to know, because obviously there's so many mixed opinions around NIL, whether it's good for the college landscape or bad. You're someone that benefited from it. You've supported partially your family on it. What are your thoughts on just the varying opinions that surround that?
Yeah, I think NIL is great to an extent of where I think there's so much opportunity, but I do think that like men get a lot more of the opportunities and they get these like insane deals that like women athletes like are never gonna get unless you're like Livy or like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, like stuff like that, like the 1 in a million. But like I see stuff about like these college football players that I've like never heard of, or like people that don't play that get millions of dollars, and I'm like, wow, like the things that women like deserve or like could do with that money, like wow. So, but I think it's great because like you said, I've been able to make my own money to help support like my family so that it's not always all on like my husband to pay for things, which makes me feel like good. And it's like it turned into like a job for me, so which is also one of the reasons why I kept playing, because it was giving me an opportunity to make money and work with brands I really love. So that opportunity is also really awesome, that you get to like work personally with brands that like you love and make money from that. So obviously not everyone is going to have the same opportunities, but I think it has to do a lot with like you just putting yourself out there. Obviously I got stuff from going viral and having a platform like I do. And I think it's just a lot of people are afraid to start and put themselves out there like I was. Because, just embarrassment, or they don't want to feel like, oh, I'm not getting any views and stuff like that. So I've always encouraged my teammates. I'm like, just start posting, literally copy what I'm doing. Like, you can copy my TikToks, like just post, I promise you. Like, so I would help them a little bit, and so they've actually been posting more, which I'm like, good, keep doing it, because I mean, you have nothing to lose at the end of the day. So yeah, I think I loved NIL and I still love NIL. I don't think it's always like fair, but I mean, that's just how life is. So
right. I'm gonna hit you with a couple rapid fire questions, some softball related, some not.
Okay.
And it'll be super quick.
Okay.
What was your walk-up song?
My last year it was Fancy by Drake, and then Barbie World by Nicki Minaj.
Were you a visor or sunglasses girl?
Visor.
Visor. Were you a simple pony or like intricate braids?
I was a simple pony once I got my extensions.
Okay.
Because I couldn't do much with like,
Right.
yeah.
You don't want it all to show.
Yeah.
I get it. If you didn't play softball, what sport would you play?
Volleyball.
Did you play volleyball at one point?
Yeah, I played in high school and I loved it.
Were you good?
Yeah, I was actually pretty good because I wasn't afraid to like dive and stuff, which like from softball. And so the only thing that I had an issue with was like getting my hand to snap on the ball, because I would just want to like hit it like how I throw. So that was my issue.
If you weren't in content creation, what would you be doing?
Oh gosh. I don't know. Well, if I didn't have like kids and stuff, I wanted to go into more like social work, like
Okay.
stuff. But I would never be able to do that now. So, because I would just be so horrified of the stories, like being a mom, like,
Yeah.
so content creation is perfect.
What is your very early pick for who's going to win the Women's College World Series this year?
Oh, gosh. Realistically, I feel like it's going to be... I feel like it could be a toss-up this year. Obviously, I feel like Oklahoma's still going to be in the World Series. But I feel like Florida can give them a run for their money. Even like Texas. I think those are my top three. I think Texas, Florida, or Oklahoma are going to win the whole thing this year.
Why do you think it's so important for you to share your life?
Just to show people that, you know, even if your life isn't the path that you planned on or like the journey that other people wanted for you, doesn't mean that it's wrong, doesn't mean that you can't overcome the obstacles, or like show people that like there's not just one way of doing things, and you can be very successful not doing things the right way. Like I just want to show that it really just matters of who you have around you, how much you believe in yourself, because self-doubt is always going to take over. If you don't think you can do it, you're not going to do it. So you have to just believe that you can do whatever you want, and everyone's life is going to look differently. So you should never compare to what you think you should be doing, or, oh, they're doing this, so I need to do it that way. No, that's not true. You can literally live your life the way that you want.
Where can people follow you and keep up with all you have going on?
Yeah, people can follow me on Instagram at Jas Williams 5, on TikTok at Jas Williams. Those are my two main platforms. And then also we have a YouTube channel called Jas and Z, as well as a family Instagram account called Jas and Z. So.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, keep crushing it.
Thank you.